Samsung and Apple have recently updated their flagship line. Samsung introduced the Note 8, and Apple has introduced the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus and the iPhone 10. And to be honest, neither have really blown me away. And I wanted to see what Sony had to offer in the high-end premium smartphone market. And I found this. It can shoot stunning slow-motion video that really blew me away. It has a beautiful metal and glass design that is water resistant, and it has a breathtaking 4K HDR display that is simply gorgeous. My name is Andrew, and this is my unboxing and review of the Sony XPERIA XZ Premium. The XPERIA XZ Premium comes in at $699 US. I'll put the link below for more information and where you can buy one. Now, in typical Sony fashion, packaging is premium. Opening the box, you're greeted by the XPERIA XZ Premium itself, and holding it for the first time, you realize this is a high-end premium smartphone with its glass and aluminum design. You get some documentation, which also includes some warranty information as well. You get your USB Type-C cable along with your Quick Charge 3.0 charger for fast charging. Now, powering this bad boy is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835. It's got 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of onboard storage, which is expandable via the micro SD card slot, which takes up to 256 GB micro SD cards. It comes in 3 colors: chrome, black, and pink. Now, I went with the Deep Sea Black, which has a hint of blue in it. It's actually a very pretty phone. Now, love it or hate it, this does have that Sony iconic look. Many will feel it's dated with those thick bezels, and the trend in 2017 is to go with the bezel-less design. For example, see my Essential Phone review and my upcoming Xiaomi Mi Mix 2 review. But make no mistake, this is probably without any doubt one of the most gorgeous displays I've ever seen on a smartphone, bar none. Now, this is probably the only smartphone with both a 4K display and HDR10 compliant, so any HDR content will be simply stunning on this display. Not much out there right now, but you can find some on Netflix, YouTube, and Amazon Prime Video. It has a 5.46-inch triluminous display with a resolution of 3840 by 2160. That's a 16:9 aspect ratio, and it has an eye-popping 807 pixels per inch. Colors are accurate at 148.6% sRGB, and it has an excellent Delta E score of 0.26. The blacks are very deep, the colors are very vibrant, and seem to pop off the screen. Now, you can calibrate the display in the settings as well as change the white balance, so you have that control. Nice. It's covered in Gorilla Glass 5 in front and back, and it is IP68 rated, meaning it is dust and water resistant. Now, it feels good in the hand at 195 grams. It's not too heavy, not too light, and it's also pretty thin at 7.9 millimeters. On the left side of the device is your SIM tray. It also will house the micro SD card slot, which takes up to 256 GB micro SD cards. Now, it will work with the GSM carriers in the United States. I was able to use my Project Fi SIM without any problem, connected to LTE without any issues. Check with your carrier to make sure the LTE bands are supported. And you get your USB Type-C port on the bottom of the device. And on the right side of the device is your volume rocker up and down along with your power button. Now, outside the United States, the power button also doubles as a fingerprint sensor. But due to legal issues here in North America, it has been disabled by Sony. But you can flash the European ROM, which enables the fingerprint sensor, and it works perfectly. Sony is touting dynamic stereo sound with its dual speakers on the front of the device. I'm a big fan of front-facing speakers, as you know. The speakers get pretty loud, the mids are okay, there is a hint of bass, although I wish there was a little bit more bass. But where this really shines is in its headphone jack. Yes, it has a 3.5mm headphone jack, and it worked really well. And Sony also enhanced the Bluetooth headphone experience as well. That worked extremely well. Now, as far as the cameras are concerned, I like the fact that it has the 19 megapixel shooter on the back. It has electronic image stabilization, it does HDR, it's f2.0, and it does 4K video at 30 frames per second. It did pretty well in low light situations, not something you always get in all smartphones, and I think the color reproduction was good. But I think the biggest feature here for me is its super slow motion video at 960 frames per second. I think the output was simply stunning. And as long as the lighting was good, it came out really nice. But lighting is the key to getting good shots in this mode. You can shoot 4K at 30 frames per second. There is electronic image stabilization and worked really well, as you can see. There is no shakiness in this video as I'm shooting here. Overall, I think the camera did well, especially in low light situations. I think this is a very good implementation. There's a 13 megapixel camera on the front that shoots 1080p video. Let's take a look. So this is the front-facing camera on the Sony XPERIA XZ Premium. As you can see, it's actually pretty good. I'm actually liking this camera. I love the slow motion in the rear camera. We'll show more about that, of course. But this is what the front-facing camera looks like. It's certainly good for Skype, and you can also do your web conferencing when you need it in a pinch. It certainly can get the job done. Now, as far as performance is concerned, its Snapdragon 835 did as well as you'd expect, on par with what other Snapdragon 835 devices are getting, around the 6200 mark. Gaming on this device was a pleasure as well. Thanks to its Snapdragon 835, the 4GB of RAM, it all did well. It's running Android 7.1.1 Nougat, and it also has its own Sony skin. Now the skin is okay, it's a little bit dated in my opinion, but it really wasn't the worst I've ever seen. It didn't have too much bloatware, but it does have some, just to be aware of that. But of course you could always run your own skin or launcher, such as the Nova Prime or Google Now and the like. The Sony Xperia XZ Premium sports a 3230 mAh battery, and it supports Qualcomm's Quick Charge 3.0. And here's how it did under the AMDtech web streaming test. It did 9 hours and 23 minutes. Not quite as good as the OnePlus 5, which did 13 hours and 6 minutes, but it did better than the Essential phone, which I recently reviewed, and it did slightly worse than the Samsung Galaxy S8. Now, Quick Charge 3.0 is supported on this device. In the first 10 minutes, it did 15%. After 1 hour, it's 68%, and then it slowed down to 2 hours and 40 minutes at to 100%. Not sure what's going on here. I expect it to get 100% a lot faster, but that's not the case. So to bring it all home, can I recommend the Sony Xperia XZ Premium? Is it worth your hard-earned money? And the answer is yes, but there are some caveats you need to be aware of. The biggest one being the fingerprint sensor has been disabled due to legal reasons here in North America. That can be remedied by flashing the European ROM, which enables that fingerprint sensor, and it worked well. Now, some people may not like that Sony design. That's the true and tried design that they've been using for years and really hasn't been updated. So depending on which camp you reside in, you may or may not like that, so keep that in mind. But I have to say that display is absolutely gorgeous. It is stunning in appearance, and you really have to see it in real life to really appreciate it. It really is something special. The fact that it's 4K and HDR10 compliant makes it even better. Couple that with a waterproof design, good audio, very good cameras, and making this a very good buy. So what do you think about the Sony Xperia XZ Premium? I really like it. Now, not everybody's going to love this design. They're not going to love the bezels on the top and the bottom. It is typical Sony look and feel we've seen out of them out of the past few years. I like it. I'm a big Sony fan, I'm going to admit that, but I understand this is 2017. We're moving towards the bezel-less designs. Check out my Essential Phone review. Check out my upcoming Mi Mix 2 from Xiaomi. Now, I do like it. I think it's a premium design. I like that waterproof design. I like the glass and metal. You know, some people are going to either love it or hate it. I get it. They needed to put those dual speakers on there. I understand why they have to have that. And the sound is good. I like having dual front-facing speakers. And I thought the camera was very good as well. 19 megapixel shooter on the back, 13 megapixel shooter on the front. I love the super slow motion. Yes, it's 720p, but it's also at 960 frames per second. And the results were really astounding. I really thought it was excellent. I love that super slow motion. But I'm curious to know what you think about the Sony XPERIA XZ Premium. You think its price tag at $699 is too much? It has come down about $100. I'll put the link below. I encourage you to either get the international version or to flash the European ROM to enable the fingerprint sensor. I think that was a big miss. But I understand that there are some legal reasons for that and they couldn't put it. So I totally understand that. But it's still a bummer nonetheless. But there are ways to get around it. Like I said, flash the European ROM or buy the international version. Either way, it'll work fine. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you want me to review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and of course our website, AMDtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.